Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/awesomecast. It is the time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. 770 here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm at Sorgatron, Mike Sorg, on all the social medias. Sorgatron, not the other thing. Damn it, I'm doing great. First of all, from the Pod Cave, Dave Potter is with us of the iPhoneography Podcast and Running Enthusiast.
Oh, yes. And costumed this past weekend, Running Enthusiast. If you looked at my socials,
I saw him. We'll touch base on that in a little bit. Also, back in the studio is the Katie Dutters.
Ooh, I am spicy.
It is.
My face is spicy. What's happening? Hi.
You're extra well lit today. So
Hi.
We kind of we were playing with my awesome thing, which you may have seen in the background in the wide shot already. I love the Duncan is right here behind the logo. Whoop. Katie brought me all the coffee. First of all, as an update, are you worried about my awakeness? Is this what this is?
I have thought about buying you that since the great snowed in apocalypse where you Missy were stuck in the house without any coffee, and that has been on my mind to buy you that.
So that's my emergency to stick it in the freezer for later kind of thing.
Yes, because I was like, oh, we need to get that for him.
And also as an update, we talked about this, but the mug came in. This is the freebie mug, the Dunkin' Donuts Classic freebie mug that you could get. You got on Super Bowl Sunday morning, right?
Yeah. Was that when I put it? I don't remember. It was such a cluster of a day.
Right, because we went to Chicago that day, and you were you
trying to get the rest of it.
Yeah, you're scouting the rest of the merch to see what they had and everything. So I know you donated to the studio. Thank you. So that is going to be it's going to be a sipping mug around here for sure. So awesome. So let's get into our awesome things of the week. Since it's fresh, do we want to talk about this thing that's sitting over here?
Ooh, yeah.
This guy right here. So this is a Virtual Boy, guys. 1995's finest technology. Actually, no, there's a Nintendo Switch in here. Actually, Katie's Switch is in here right now. They just released this a few weeks ago. I got to pick up mine. It came in last week. And this is you have this is the $100 model, and then for $25 you can get like a cardboard version, and that's pretty apt because it kind of operates a lot like that Google Cardboard kind of idea, where and we'll just kind of look here so you get the idea. So this thing flips up, and inside is the Nintendo Switch that you would use, right? And it looks like it's still in the mode too. So you put that guy in there. Turn your volume up, click it down, look in here awkwardly, and you lost, Katie. Sorry about that.
I did. He's mocking me.
So this is, again, you can only purchase this if you have the Nintendo Online with expansion pack, which I think is $50 for the year. Is that right?
I think
it's $20 for the standard, I know. Actually, I don't know if the expansion pack was needed for it. I can't recall actually now. But either way, you do have to at least have the online for it to be able to purchase it. And then you download the virtual console just like you do for the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, Nintendo, GameCube, whatever the case may be. And then it pops up in there, and and just kind of also to illustrate there, because I see that you're still loaded. This is what it looks like, when you don't have it in there. It has that kind of stereoscopic thing. It's kind of split things up. It's not using much of the screen actually in order to do this, but you have these lenses in here that's going to, of course, make it a little bigger for you. It's very red. There's about 7 games, I think, currently. I think only 14 games were released in general, and not all of them even made it here to the States for the Virtual Boy. This is a I do not recommend this unless you're really, really kind of jonesed for, like, if you're a collector, and it's a lot harder to get a Virtual Boy in all the games these days. Very expensive because they weren't a lot of them. They only sold so many consoles. It didn't last very long. Obviously, they only released about 12, 14 games maybe in the States. So I think this is an interesting option for this. They could have easily just released this unit with electronics with all the games loaded on it, but of course, it's part of the subscription and everything. So as long as the subscription is active, you have those games. Either way, it's still much cheaper than if you were trying to collect those yourselves. It does include one Japanese game. It includes the Wario Land Virtual Boy. There's a Telero Boxing, I think the game is called, Golf, Galactic Pinball. There's a Tetris 3D that's on the thing. There's a game called Red Alarm that's kind of like a Firefox game, but it's like more kind of a framed kind of thing than polygons. And the fun part is it's all red and black. Because remember, this is coming off the Game Boy that was all green and gray back in the day. So they're like, well, let's just make it red. The hardest color on our eyes would put it against a black background. I spent some time with it the other day. Actually, I and this is one of those things you put it here and on the side. You put it on there if you see this here. The whole idea was you don't strap it to your face. It feels like that's the thing you're supposed to do, right? You put it on a table and then you stick your head into it. So I hope you have a decent sized table, and this is tremendous for your posture, right, Katie? You played this for about like 15 minutes maybe. It does look good. I'm looking at the Telero Boxing here. It's like I'm seeing the 3D and stuff. I mean, it's all the resolution is not very high or anything like that. You see the blocks of it, which I think was probably the probably emulates the LCD that it used in the original version of this. So, Katie, you played a couple of games. What are I've stuck my face in one of these things at like a Toys R Us display back in the day. I guess 30 years ago at this point, right? What were your kind of impressions of spending a little bit of time with this thing?
Oh, I thought it was so much fun. I did the pinball, which they gave it a long field of vision, so you were looking like beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, which was fun. The boxing one I thought was great because as you're hitting, it's like a robot boxing, and you're hitting, and like pieces are flying off, and it's fun to watch those fly off. And but yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I was rather impressed with how good it looked. So I had a great time.
So and just double check it does with the expansion pack. So you do have to have that. And again, I won't even let you purchase this until you get that. And here's a little bit of launch lineup, including like Galactic Pinball that you're playing. And again, this isn't like terribly representative because it is in 3D. It is stereoscopic. I think is the right word for it. So you do get a little bit more depth in what you're presenting here. You cannot play these games without one of these units. And like I said, there's a $25 cardboard version, but it looked so crazy because it looked like you're going to have to like keep your controllers on your Switch and hold it up to your face while you play. I guess there's a version like with the, what was the cardboard thing that they had? I keep forgetting the name of it. The Joy. Oh, you remember they were like had all the toys and stuff that you could make out of cardboard that included like the Wii controllers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It escapes me right now, but it looks like that. But you would have to hold this for however you're playing it. I mean, to me, I think I would just like get a headband or something and just wrap it around my face or something like that. Get some duct tape or something. Everything's pretty like kind of quick play. Really, the kind of best game. In this game, this Mansion of Innsmouth, it's kind of a first person, like you step through kind of thing. But really, Wario Land's like kind of the best game on this. So it's like a first person shooter, but like in slow motion kind of thing. You do have the golf, you do have things like that. So it's a pretty cool concept. A nice throwback for something that didn't. There's tennis. Jack Brothers, like the rest of it's coming soon. There's a Space Invaders collection, virtual bowling. They got like kind of a site, like a Galacta kind of thing. Another Tetris, by the way. So there's options coming. It's going to be you got to be pretty diehard to get one of these things. And again, if you want to kind of venture into this, if you got one of those other cardboard things, or if you want to get the Virtual Boy cardboard edition, again, it's only $25 in the store. So it's a lot less of a. But this is one of those things that's going to look nice on a shelf too. and to have that experience, for better and worse, mostly worse probably. They are going to they're saying coming later in 2026, you're going to have the ability to have different colors. You can actually, and it shows it right at the end. I didn't realize this. Apparently I think I can take the lenses off, maybe. And maybe they're probably gonna sell us different colored lenses to go in here. Is the thing, because it had like some green and gray looking ones that they kind of looked at. So, but it's weird because it's still red on the screen, but there's still, these are still red too, the lenses. So it's like red on red kind of going on here. So, but and also I was telling Katie about this before. This is 1-to-1. Somebody had one of these in a video, like one of the originals next to it. And it has spots in here. You can see at the bottom there. You see like kind of markers for all the ports: the headphone jack, the volume dial, the controller port that you needed for this thing. And you just use the Joy-Cons, of course. And then like these are supposedly sliders and twists that helped your vision on the original version of this. They're non-functional. None of these are functional. But I love that they like still put them all in there for that 1-to-1 experience for something like this. So that's the Virtual Boy. That is the full-fledged Virtual Boy edition. I think it's pretty cool. Like, again, if you're not already excited about one of these things and having one in your collection, you probably don't need to spend the $100 in order to experience the games, right? Like Katie, I don't imagine you're going to be hopping right on top of this, right?
Nope. I mean, it's fun, but it's just not something.
No, not for that much.
No.
But man, I'm a little bit of a collector, and I would love to get my hands on an original Virtual Boy. Now I'm kind of satiated with that at a much lower price. Dave, were you aware of the Virtual Boy when it came out back in the day?
I was not. No, I was not.
Most weren't.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
I love the look of it, but you're right. It looks like something, but with the controller, you have to hold the controller. So you kind of. Whenever I play video games, I've never wanted to just like, even sitting down, just kind of sit there and not move my body. Mm-hmm. So having your head right there while you're, with the joystick, with the controllers, that would just, I don't know. It just, I guess that's why it didn't work out. Mm-hmm. I do wonder though, with the cardboard one, and this would probably be more trouble than it's worth, if you could get the cardboard one to get the lenses and then 3D print something.
Oh, there you go. That has to be
you
something
could make on your own. Yeah, because the lenses are just, you put the lenses in one position. They're just regular lenses, and everything else is just position and holding it down.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. And I'm trying to get a real quick the Virtual Boy. Virtual Boy Cardboard Edition, but this keeps like going over.
Now, I did bring up the Virtual Boy Wikipedia page for the original, and you're absolutely right. I mean, it literally it's like they have it looks like they had leftover almost.
Yeah,
it's so 1-to-1.
So this is how it fits in there. I think that looks like that might be a Switch 2 from the looks and things, because they're really kind of filling it out there. But that gives you an idea about how you'd have to like kind of hold on to it. And, it just feels like that would be so awkward. But also, like, I'm kind of like, can I just like lay down in bed and just sit this on my face and then just, be able to do it from there? Things like that. There was something else I was going to look up here. We did have, just so you see what this kind of looks like for posture, Katie for scale here as soon as this opens. But to give you an idea, I don't know why my mouse stopped working. Something's going weird with my laptop. But yeah, this is what it looks like if you're engaged in it. So, and that's like a higher that's like a higher table too that you're on. So you get the idea there of how awkward that kind of is. So but yeah, it's just a stand thing, and like that was the only option they really gave you for something like that. It was ill-fated. It was a bad idea. Nintendo was trying something, trying to get ahead of the curve back in the day when we had all the gimmicks of the Sega CDs and everything like that, and that's what they determined to go with. They're bringing it back around. So now we got to see do they have an answer to bring in the Nintendo DS and the Nintendo 3DS games to the console at this point? We're up the GameCube. You know, Wii games would be great too. I think that makes a lot of sense, and hopefully they're still coming. So, you know, the Joy-Cons are basically Wiimotes, right? You know, you do have all that functionality in there. You don't see a lot of games that use it, though, right? Katie, you've had a Switch longer than I have. Have you seen any kind of Wii-like functions kind of pop up there? There's a mouse function in certain games right now.
Yeah, I mean, not like the same as like what we used a Wii for,
no.
Wii controller for.
The exercise game in Animal Crossing, I noticed, uses them.
Yes.
Of course, so.
They're working out.
But yeah, not a whole lot. Like some weird games, like there's a trombone game that I think uses them, that I found as one of those little kind of mini cheap games you can get on the store. So, but I haven't jumped into that one yet. So that's my awesome thing. It's the Virtual Boy. It's a Nintendo Switch edition Virtual Boy. Comes in a nice box too. Kind of want to keep the box, honestly. So, and all the instructions are on the back of the box. So that's why we got here. Oh, there's like, if depending on which Switch you have, there's an adapter. This is the Switch 2 one that came installed on it. I didn't realize until I was like, Katie, bring yours. I didn't want to take the Switch and keep Missy from her Animal Crossing tonight, especially since I'm going to probably take it on the road with me this weekend. So you just got to swap out to whichever Switch edition that you have. It does work on both editions, so you should be pretty good from that. I don't know how this works. I bet you can't use it on a Switch Lite. Now I think about it. I don't think that would fit in there. And you'd have to sync another controller, right? Yeah. So we got Riz, bring your Switch Lite and we'll see if we can jam it into this thing. That's our next experiment. There you go. But anyway, so yeah, that was pretty cool. So that's a Virtual Boy. Go check that out if you're interested in seeing what that's like, or come over to my place and you can try mine. So. And I can't share the experience. You can't screen share the thing. Like it's just like virtual reality. Hey, you got to put your face in this thing in order for you to know what's going on with it. So either way.
And before you move on, Sorg, I was like I said, I was reading the Wikipedia page, and that's one problem Nintendo was having was how do you show a 3D experience on a 2D set? So they had a promotion on NBC saying you can rent the console for $10 at a local Blockbuster. And then when you returned it, you got a $10 off a purchase from any store. Including sweepstakes with prizes including trips to see tapings of NBC shows.
Ooh.
But the problem is gamers got a chance to rent it, put it on, go, yuck, this is not what I want. And then they just didn't buy it.
Yeah, and it was probably it was a couple $100 at the time too, which was probably pretty pricey for the age, you know?
Yeah,
so.
And they said by mid-96, the Blockbuster was selling its units at $50 a pop.
Yeah, I wish I hopped on that at the time. I probably would have been nearsighted a lot quicker. So actually, no, it probably worked out better because there's 3D to it, so you're working your eyes out, right? I don't know. Somebody can tell me how that works out. But hey, either way, Dave, what's going on? What's your awesome thing of the week?
Well, my awesome thing is incomplete. So it's Apple's announcements this week. So instead of having a giant event with large production, and of course it's all virtual events, they're introducing things, introduced a couple things yesterday, a couple things today, and a couple more things tomorrow. And then they're going to have what they call experiences for various journalists. So the very first thing was yesterday, and they announced the new iPhone 17e, which is their cheap version of the current phone, and the M4 iPad Air. So I would say this, if you're someone who just wants a phone and you don't care that much about photography or care that much about, if someone says, oh, this is 120 megahertz screen versus a 60, you're like, what? This is the perfect phone for you. It has the latest chip. It's $600 to start with. It has 12 gigs of RAM. 12 gigs of RAM. It's a perfectly, compared to Android phones, it's probably would be considered a lower end phone, but Apple charges the mid-tier cost. It only has one camera. So like I said, this would be great for someone who like, I want a phone, but I don't want all the bells and whistles on top of it. Great for them. The iPad Air, that's been updated with a new chip. Literally, that's it. All they did is so they upped it from the M3 to M4. Not much of a difference. The big difference there is they put their own cellular chip into it instead of using Qualcomm. So it should give you better battery life and better Wi-Fi. But if you don't have the router to match it, again, this is a bump. These two are literally just minor-ish bumps.
It's the 11 and 13-inch models.
Yeah, for the Air. So basically nothing outside was changed. So literally the main thing was we put an updated chipset in. Okay. So and
that also starts at about $600 for the 11-inch model.
And honestly, if you just bought an iPad Air last year, you're not going to want this. If you have one that is 3 or 4 years old and you're like, well, my iPad's starting to get a little old in the tooth, but I don't want to go cheap with the plain iPad. I want a little bit more oomph. This is a good iPad. And we know that iPads generally last years and years and years and still work. So, hold on a minute, sorry. I was going to sneeze.
Oh,
there you go. I got my engraving here.
Sorry about that. So, like I said, those are kind of bumps there. Today was the MacBook. So you had the MacBook Air with the new M5 chip. So they did bump up the chip. Now, one thing that was a little different with the MacBook Air, okay, we can do the Pro too. So the MacBook Pro, basically, they had the M5 for a while.
I'm sorry. I'm on the wrong Mac.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
No, we can stay on the Pro. Okay. So what they did is, before they only had the M5 and the Pro and the Max was the previous chip. Now everything's M5. Okay. So it's all M5. They have the Pro, the Max. They did say they changed the way they built the chip, where the Pro used to be just 2 M5s hooked together and the Max was 4 of them. They did it a little bit differently, so it should give you even a little bit more of a bump in terms of the actual, the case itself, the display. No difference that way. Now, the one thing they did do is with the M5 Pro and Max, the base storage now starts at 1 terabyte versus 512.
Okay.
And the base version, you can go up to, if you just have the plain M5, you can go up to 64 gigabytes of RAM. The higher end models can do 128 gigs of RAM. So, yeah, and of course, if you max out an M5 Max with all the bells and whistles, with, I believe you can go to 8 terabytes on a hard drive, you can go to like $7,000 or $8,000.
And this is significant because, there's a lot of discussion about, obviously there's I forget what they call them, the computers that are kind of generally set for AI. Like I use Mac Whisper, and I'm still on an M1 and an M1 Pro respectively between my Mini and my MacBook. So that was like kind of the minimum, like that opened that up. There's a lot of those open source models people are dropping on their MacBooks and their Macs, thanks to the way this chip architecture is. So if you're doing that kind of thing, that's where the upgrades need to kind of step up for you. We're not doing that yet. we're chugging along at some After Effects and some some video. Final Cut, of course, is doing more and more here. I posted something the other day about how much stuff Final Cut does now when you import footage. It is analyzing and transcribing right off the bat. Whereas, I would always turn off because the Macs were plenty speedy enough for I'm not using ProRes half the time for my core footage, so I don't need to use proxy footage or anything like that. And that it would and Mac was really good about like, hey, we're going to pre-process all this right off the bat. You can start working, but it's going to chug along until we're done. Now it's at that point where it's like, okay, and sometimes it's like I have 2 shots and I need to cut them. I don't need you to go through all this. Now, the big test is going to be, I'm doing an event this weekend with multiple shots, multiple interviews, right, over 3 days. That's when it's going to get interesting. Will I be able to find plane number 115? Will I be able to find any purple plane? Because I know that LSU is a purple plane and I'm looking for it, right? Am I going to find the shot of the dog? That's this is my test bed now on the new AI on Final Cut. Is what we're doing this weekend. I'm very, very excited to see how we can stress test that with this kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So very, very cool. So you said, so this is the MacBook Pro, and I'm really kind of edging on that Mac Mini update soon.
That's now the question is, will the Mac Mini be updated tomorrow?
Yep. Well, I'm not in a hurry. Thankfully.
Yeah. The desktop has not been touched. This is all laptops and iPads.
So tell me about you say the MacBook Air though that we skipped over. What's happening with this guy?
Yeah. So that is, in my mind, a little bit more significant. Mm-hmm. Again, the screen's not updated, so it's not the 120 megahertz. Better resolution display. What the main change is with the M5 versus M4. Mm-hmm. So again, new chip, big difference there. You have more storage, so it's $100 more expensive, but you're getting double the storage than you did before. So if you compare, the base storage is now 512. So if you compare what 512 costs before, it's actually $100 less. They just got rid of the 256 tier. So, and the storage is faster. Good. So it is a faster SSD. And again, for this one, you can go up to 4 terabytes of storage on it.
Yeah.
Again, the new wireless chip, very similar. Apple's trying to make everything their chips. Mm-hmm. So on it, the thing is, we're hearing about the chip storage shortage and the RAM shortage and all this problem. And the fact that, yes, the base price went up, but they gave you double the hard drive space. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, it really, for what you're getting,
they're evening it out, basically.
Yeah. Which later this year, I think you're going to see people, computers come out, and they're not going to be able to do that because there's going to be RAM shortages and there's going to be issues with getting stuff.
As it is, we're trying to source hard drives for the media we have to make for the season, and I'm pretty sure they've doubled in price. It's like we're for a decent hard drive that you want to edit footage on, or record ProRes from your phone to. We're looking at $100 a terabyte. For the Crucial and the Samsung drives that I got for under $200 last year, I swear, maybe $250 for a 4 terabyte, right? So this is going to be an unfortunate crunch for us that we have to figure out because there's other factors that are affecting costs right now for us. So we have to figure out where that's going to come out of. So yeah, it's been an interesting slog. So we'll see. This is Tuesday. We'll see what the announcements are on Wednesday. I'm sure we'll come back around to it. Now we do not have a typical show next Tuesday. We're going to be on the road, but we'll be back talking about that stuff. Unless Ponder wants to do a Zoom show of some sort. Maybe get you a co-host or something and do that.
There we go.
Perhaps.
Real quick before we move off, it actually was leaked by quote unquote accident today. What was going to be announced tomorrow. Now I don't know if this is going to be the name.
So speculations.
Heavily agreed to speculations. So they're going to release something either called MacBook or MacBook Neo. And instead of the M chips, it's going to have an iPhone chip.
Okay.
So it's going to have the A18.
This is the alleged lower cost one. That one hearing rumors about, yeah.
And everyone's hoping that it's going to be like $600. More than likely because they bump up the price of the Air. They gave a little extra breathing room. It's $700. You hope maybe you can get down to $699, instead of $799. But yeah, basically it's going to have an iPhone chip, so it's going to be cheaper that way. It's going to be a little bit smaller screen. It's going to be very colorful. I'm assuming it's still going to be metal and not plastic, but this is going to be good for it'll be powerful enough for students, for your average high school or even entry-level college student. Or this is the other thing I think not only that, it's going to be very colorful. It's going to be silver and black. But also I think there is going to be a white version, because I can see if you're a non-creative person in a office and you're just getting an Apple, you're just getting a Mac, if a company can save $200 if they're buying 100 of them, you're going to get the cheapest one out there, but it's still good enough. And honestly, the iPhone chips are so freaking powerful. They can drive and run a computer, no problem. It's probably the new lower end's probably going to be equivalent to an M1, which still works good for so many people.
And it should be playing for like the Apple intelligence and everything that they're going to want it to be ready for.
Exactly.
And the biggest question that we'll find out hopefully tomorrow: will there be a Bondi Blue? Right. Fingers are crossed. Well, thanks for those updates, Dave. Katie, what is your awesome thing?
It's a not awesome thing.
Oh, no.
Yay!
What?
I got a not awesome thing.
Okay.
Meta's AI display glasses reportedly share intimate videos with human moderators.
Oh, great.
Yay.
Okay.
Okay, so this is in Europe, but, because there's a little more transparency with things. So users of the Meta's AI smart glasses may be sharing this information. We have long heard that, whenever you're using any sort of AI, everybody's training their AI using your information, your graphics, your designs, your photos. And so, like, when you're you're essentially agreeing to these terms of service, you are agreeing to have sometimes human moderators look at what you're recording and make decisions to annotate them. So there's some folks in Kenya, because they are going through this data, and they have seen people nude, using the toilet, engaging in sexual activity, along with credit card numbers and other sensitive information.
Jeez.
Yes. So
maybe don't pick up the AI glasses.
Yeah, users can record what they're looking at, or you get answers via the Meta AI assistant. But you have to agree to Meta's terms of service to use the AI with these. And, but yeah, so this is essentially maybe, like, and it's very hard to find if you dig down into a lot of these terms of service to see exactly and what the verbiage is and who's going to see what you're recording and asking and whatnot. So,
yeah, I mean, kind of like the general, just like the, your cameras and everything like that, maybe no cameras in the bedroom and the bathroom, period. Unfortunately, if they're your glasses, that's a problem, isn't it? So, man, or just, I mean, great for voyeurs, I suppose, right? Well, sure. Oh, boy.
Yay.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
Oh, no.
Not awesome, but important.
Yes, important to know.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, after that scary moment, well, hey, let's see if Chachi's got some better news on the Video Game Minute.
Hey kids, welcome back to the Chachi Says Video Game Minute. Here's as much video game news I can cover in under a minute. After a year that saw massive layoffs, poor sales, and rising costs, head of gaming Phil Spencer and head of Xbox Sarah Bond are both leaving Microsoft. Spencer is being replaced by Asha Sharma, the former head of AI who has no gaming business experience. That's an interesting move, Microsoft. Let's see how it works out. And lastly, there are always a few things you can count on me to cover: Assassin's Creed, Lego, Legend of Zelda, and anything Kevin Smith. A new Jay and Silent Bob side-scrolling beat-em-up game is available for backing on BackerKit, being developed by Interabang, the company who made the last game Mall Brawl. So far, it looks like the game is only going to be available on PC. However, you can watch the trailer over at chronicbluntpunch.com. Thanks for watching this week's Chachi Says Video Game Minute. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Chachi, for that. Oh, man, another Jay and Silent Bob game. I did get the Mall Brawl one that they did before. That was kind of based on Clerks over on Steam. That one's a blasty blast. Nice 8-bit style of that. Hey, thank you everybody that's supporting the show over there. This is the wrong show. No, there. Let's go to this one. Let's go to the people that support this show at patreon.com/awesomecast. You get some extra stuff there, including what did we talk about last week? What was our Patreon last week? I just had it up in here over on the YouTubes. But we do get we are time releasing now because we're getting a lot more info in there. It's not just us complaining about things, but it is also like the less awesome things. So if you really want to get into it, we were talking about AI art, snow math, and Pondergon and his old man soapbox last week. So we had that as a part of that. You guys get that as part of your Patreon when we record extras. We talked recently about data privacy. Just went live over on the YouTube warrants and things like that. I think we were talking about the Ring camera issues, right? At that time. And thank you everybody does support the show over there, including Brian Crawford, Cynthia Klosky, John DeGore, and Dave Potter, who wants to remind you to use code Dave26 at gcxc.com/eventspa for your racing needs for a discount. There you go. What is that shirt? That's your Polar Bear one? Polar Bear race?
No, this was the Spring Thaw one from this past week.
Spring Thaw. Look at that.
Yep, 50 years of running.
Nice. That's a lot of running.
From 1977, and we actually had in person, the honorary starter was someone who ran, it was a Boston Marathon qualifier back in 77. So we actually had someone who was like 26 back then at trying to qualify for Boston, running the first race, and he was here at this race.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Follow Dave Potter's social media for all the race news in the Pittsburgh area. Katie, you brought us our awesome Dunkin' gifts today, so I might make sure this story got in there for you. Dunkin' is testing a 40-ounce drink bucket. I feel like I feel like even more so, this felt like it was unveiled during the blizzards in the Northeast recently. So yeah, 48-ounce bucket. I mean that basically lasts me the day, right? So that's when you really want to have your iced coffee for the entire thing. It's only available in a few locations, but a lot of people are really kind of poking Dunkin' to pushes. It's a bucket with a straw in it. There it is. I mean, it doesn't look that big to me. I don't know about you. I don't know, Katie. Does that seem? I feel like you get one of those on one of our shoot days, and we just have it all day ready to go, right?
Oh, yeah. Just carry light ice.
It's not that much bigger than that large cup that they have going on there. Katie, would you be a daily bucket?
I gotta figure out uses for my bucket.
That's the thing. You'd be gathering buckets at that point.
Bucket.
What can I do with a 48-ounce bucket?
Not enough. It's not like my Home Depot bucket.
There's a lot of pen holders, a lot of your Home Depot buckets.
That I use for everything at home.
They said it was around the size of, if you remember the McDonald's buckets for Halloween.
Boo buckets.
The Boo bucket. It was around the size of a Boo bucket.
I also have a Dunkin' Boo bucket too, so those are also things we've been collecting. And I have a heart-shaped Munchkin tin. We've been collecting Dunkin' stuff. The hot girls run on Dunkin' cups. I love giving those to guests sometimes. I think we gave one to Bro Heath a few weeks ago when he was in for the Sunday sessions. But anyways, yeah, please bring it to Pittsburgh. I gotta get at least one bucket, right? This has to be a limited time kind of situation, I would imagine. Who knows? Who knows?
Our poor favorite Dunkin' employees.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
keep
Oh
talking
my gosh.
with their limit.
Oh my gosh. I remember you telling me about the glove where they were just like, yeah, I want to get rid of them.
Take it.
Like you went in early or something, right?
Maybe a few minutes early. I mean, it was like minutes, so I mean, I don't want to be like.
And it would just say the manager was like, I want to get rid of this as soon as possible.
Yes. Poor people.
Oh no.
Hi, do you have one of these 10 gloves? Only 10.
And people are going to ask for the rest of the day, right? So that's probably the most annoying part. And some people are not as nice about it as we probably are. So Muppet Vision 3D.
Yes, can we talk about this?
Yes. You want to talk about this? What's happening with it?
Oh my! I know. I didn't even know this was a thing until I saw your article, and this is fantastic.
So this is the 3D Muppet, the big 4D experience thing that just got torn down. They're making way for the Monsters Inc. land over at the Hollywood Studios and Disney World. And apparently it has been preserved. And it will be available Apple Vision Pro VR headsets. I think I saw it says, and also for eventually other headsets as well. This makes sense. Apple and Disney usually have a pretty good relationship, so I could see it popping up there. So my question with this, like obviously the film has been, Katie, have you done the Muppet Vision?
Yes.
Okay, so like if you've done Muppet Vision, like you know that there's like it's not just what's on the screen that happens, and there's stuff like you getting sprayed by things. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But there is also like other animatronics that do interact with it. So I'm hoping they do recreate that situation. I imagine it's going to be CG or something, right? Or maybe they did. Maybe they did capture an entire 3D experience of the entire thing.
Oh my gosh!
Which would be tremendous because even you turn around and something happens behind you on the wall, right? At some point.
Sweetums is all over the place.
Sweetums is all over the place, right? So there's a lot kind of going into this. It's not just the film, and also wasn't this like something like Brian Hansen or Jim Henson's like one of his last things he worked on or something like this, right? So like that's a piece of history there, and even if you look in the picture, you can kind of see the balconies, just like the Muppet Show, and I think those guys pop up now. Does Sweetums gonna break through the wall? Spoiler alert, but you can't go see it right now, so whatever. So who knows? I love to see them bring the show to like something over in like California Adventure or something for a while too. Wouldn't that be also a related Disney news? The Aerosmith Rockin' roller coaster. Which I did not get on when I was at Hollywood Theater, so I missed my thing. But that is going to get it just closed the last couple of days. In the last couple of days, it's going to be retrofitted and turned into a Muppet coaster. Ooh. So the Muppets still are going to exist at Hollywood. There's a lot of renovation going down at Disney World right now, actually. So, but it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of stuff works out. So, is this finally going to talk you into getting an Apple Vision?
Or I could be in another VR if I hold out. Oh.
Give me Muppet Vision on the Virtual Boy, Nintendo. Make it so. Make it happen. Make it happen.
Could you imagine?
It'd be all red.
Oh my God.
All low res and red. Oh, jeez. What else, Dave? What else do you want to touch on here?
I'm curious about Adobe's AI video editing.
Oh,
tool.
yeah. So according to this, you're going to. I tried playing with it. So there's an online Firefly editor. Hold on, let me get over here. I popped into it a little bit here earlier today. So it did. You're able to pull your. It's a general editor. So if you need something kind of online and stuff, I wouldn't say it's a quick editor unless you have a lot of little footage. I had like about a minute or two long videos I stuck in here. This is like a promo. So I didn't get to do exactly just the quick kind of look at it. I got kind of a 2-camera shoot that we did here. A little spoiler for you for Mayhem Show later tonight. And what you do is you stick your footage in here and then you go to Quick Cut and you write a prompt about what you want. Like, hey, this is, their prompt is like, it's an interview with a local nonprofit theater company, social media fundraising, daily fashion vlog, paste text from a short list or a script if you want something like that. So I just said this is a 2-camera shoot of 2 wrestlers talking, and it did re-edit it, but it didn't use both clips. It used one, cut out some of the like in-between stuff going on, and then like kind of cut it off after 15 seconds. So and supposedly like when you hit the button, it says it's using credits and things like that. So it's using your Firefly credits, which I think are all free right now for the time being until you purchase that. But I mean, it's worth kind of looking into. I try to see if I could get another one going in here too. Also, I don't know how to get back to the other things. Like this is like. It generated this thing. Like this is a 2-camera shoot, and it just generated like a 2-camera shoot, like behind the scenes. I don't understand why. So I haven't really kind of fully wrapped my head around it yet. But it will pull in if you're doing other Firefly stuff, AI images or anything like that. It does pull in a lot of that into your assets here too. Again, I have not entirely figured out how to kind of back out of the video project and find the other one I was working on. So go to create. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, I end up in this and then I can't find anything again. So it's been real. I'm still trying to kind of wrap my head around a lot of what it's setting up. Yeah, the video's not in here. I guess if we go over here. Nope, it just says a bunch of stuff you can try to do. So, and also like this is a lot of test bed beta stuff. You know, part of me is like, play with this. Don't make it part of your workflow yet, because the thing that you get into it is probably going to be terribly expensive. Like if you hit the get credits button, you're like, here we're talking about like $9.99 a month for 2,000, $30 for 7,000 credits, and I'm pretty sure whatever I typed in there was going to take like 2,000 credits or something. So I don't know entirely, and it gives you that generate up to 25-second videos, translate up to 6 minutes of audio, like for $10 a month. So you see what how the scale could be. If you're doing a lot of this, that's going to get very expensive very quickly. So once again, kind of doing the A/B test myself between the Firefly. We talked about kind of the image generation. Like I made an image earlier today for promoting, the referee George Ross is going to be on the Wrestling Mayhem show. So I usually put the image of the person, I put our logo, and I stick it in there. And generally, I thought it looked better than what ChatGPT did, which is what you'll see out there, except it duplicated the Wrestling Mayhem show. So it's like, well, I actually almost replaced the image that I was using until I noticed that it was duplicated. I was like, I'm not really crazy about that. But it did a better job of, there's like a little bit of like a weird glow from the cutout that I couldn't get out of the ChatGPT version. And this one really did a good job of getting rid of it. So it's it does some things good. And then like sometimes when I put text, it gives me the plainest text possible. Whereas ChatGPT sometimes goes overboard the other way. So, again, kind of fine-tuning those kind of ideas. And again, just, hey, I have an image, I have a logo, I want words on it, let's put this out here. Not something I need to spend like 20 minutes in Photoshop to try to perfect, right? If it's going to be able to do it that quickly. So that's kind of the idea there. But again, hypothetically, I think it's one of those, like, how that you throw a bunch of clips in the CapCut and it decides how to edit it for you to make it the most interesting in a template. I think that's what it's trying to do here, right? So, hey, I shot a bunch of stuff. This is the kind of video I'm doing. It'll give you a first draft, but the nice part is you can go in and edit from there, which Opus Clip does the same thing, honestly. So I don't know why, it's going to be a use case. And I'm really interested for people finding their use case on something like this. Like Katie, you do light videos every once in a while, right, for social media. Like, this might be something, might be more in line with what you're trying to do, right?
Yes, that's definitely more what I need.
Yeah, you just need a quick editor, and you already have it seems like most of the stuff is included even with your photography version of this, right? Because we were talking about the podcast, AI podcast cleaner, right?
Oh yeah, that was exciting.
You got to use it some more?
Not as much as I would like.
Anytime I got like a call and it's like they use their microphone on their laptop, I throw it in there and try to spruce it up a little bit, right? It's not going to be amazing, but if we had a lot of room noise and stuff that the usual tools aren't great with, it usually puts it back together pretty nicely. So
it's better than absolutely nothing.
Absolutely.
And, oh my gosh, yeah. And it's not like, it's like, oh, it's the high end of absolutely, better than, I don't want to be like,
it really is impressive, honestly. As long as you're not complete BS in there. There was a video, like the promo I'm putting out tonight, there's a lot of crosstalk and there's a little room, and I considered putting it in there, but I'm like, no, they use words that aren't words in this thing, because there's this like alien kind of concept we're going with. I was really afraid to find out what AI was going to do to it.
Oh.
Yeah. So I thought it would just invent words out from that. And because I've seen it, like, again, recreate something that was like the most minimalist, inaudible thing. And just like, oh, and my voice is in there. It's not my voice, kind of thing. If I'm doing a multi-track, for instance. So you gotta watch out for that. You guys want some quick hits on video games?
Yeah.
So stuff that's getting me excited about things. A lot of Pokemon news. It's an anniversary for Pokemon, so you're going to see a lot of weird stuff come out, including how would you like a Pokemon retro Game Boy Pikachu. It is a black and white digital Pikachu to resemble the original Game Boy version of Pokemon.
Cute.
And frightening at the same time. So that's going to be, I think it's on the Pokemon store or something like that. And then the other one was this one. I kicked this to Chachi. Oh, that's not it. Let me see if I can find this here. That's the 8-bit doll. That's this one. Okay. They released a music player. Nintendo loves their music. There's an app, and it's like, you can listen to the music from Super Mario Land from the Game Boy. And I'm like, I like that, but okay. I was playing Super Mario Land the other day on the classics on the Switch, the original Super Mario Land, and I was humming the tune because you know how much I played that back in the day, and it just awakened that in me. So damn it, they are kind of right. So if you were like that with Pokemon on the original Nintendo, so it is I think it's like $60 or $70 here, $69.99. It's on the Pokemon Center website, which I think is the official thing for them. So it's a little Game Boy, and you have little Game Boy cartridges that it comes with, and they play music. And they put a little thing on the screen. This does not play games. This is just a music player. And the cartridges it comes with are pretty crazy. So there's a lot of them. There's a whole bunch of them. There are 45 cartridges.
Wow.
I presume a song apiece. I just so there you go. That's your these alt Game Boy kind of things are really interesting. But again, I think that's you got to be pretty, like, you were there for the original Pokemon. I was around, but I did not get on that. Xbox Game Pass now supports 1440 streaming. That means I'm pretty sure if I stream to my Apple TV on my TV downstairs, I'm getting better quality than on my Series S that I have in the house. Because I believe they did update everything to a Series X for what they're sending out, which means I also have better load times. I've also noticed that games seem to load slower when I play it locally in my house than streaming from a server somewhere. So and this updates, they said the biggest thing is people with older hardware like an Xbox One streaming games because they can't play Series S and X games, right? That's pretty incredible. So again, they're keeping those people on there, between Game Pass, purchasing games. You can purchase certain games, but you if you pay for Game Pass, like the high-end edition, and then you purchase, say, WWE 2K25, you can play that on streaming. Actually, I've been playing it more on streaming than on my console. I play my Xbox games on my Apple TV more than on my Xboxes, and I have a Series S here and at the house, but I'm playing on my Apple TV, right? It's so weird how that's become a thing. And yet Xbox isn't doing so well, allegedly, right? But, I think, that's been really cool to me. Like, that's the thing that I feel like opens things up so much more. So, and the last bit, a little bit of, geez, I love throwback, don't I? I love the collections. I just picked up the Capcom versus Marvel collection, and I'm loving the throwback on the old X-Men fighting game and stuff like that. They just released a trailer for a new one called the Marvel Maximum Collection. This is mostly Konami based, but not entirely. The headline is going to be X-Men: The Arcade Game is finally on modern consoles. I know you can pick it up back in the 360 era or something like that, but it's been delisted since. This is the 6-player version that will be online. Captain America and the Avengers, and it's going to be like the arcade and the Nintendo Genesis versions of it too. You also have the Maximum Carnage Spider-Man game, Spider-Man and X-Men Arcade's Revenge, again for every console that it was out for, Separation Anxiety. Hopefully they have some stuff to make, I think they have some stuff in there to make things a little easier, which is also great because they also included the bane of my existence, Silver Server for the Nintendo Entertainment System. That game was BS, guys. That was you touch a wall like a little bit and you're dead and you're done. You're back to the beginning of the thing.
So it was almost Flappy Bird.
It was, oh my God, Silver Surfer's the original Flappy Bird show title. No, it is. Go watch the Angry Video Game Nerd on the Silver Surfer game. I know he already swears a lot in that game, in that, and yeah, it is. It was one of those I picked up, and I'm like, Silver Surfer, isn't that a Marvel character? And then I was like, why does this game hate me so bad? But I mean, we were kind of used to that in the Nintendo era, 8-bit era, right? Like there were a lot of games that were so very unforgiving back then. So having a little bit of a quality of life update to some of these, even like the Nintendo's, the Ninja Turtles one, having the save points. You know, you can do quick saves, save states. All the Nintendo stuff does that for the throwback stuff, right? That's been amazing. You know, I got this bad jumping part that I keep running out of continues in Castlevania. Let's let's just pause here, kind of thing. So I've been really kind of spoiled with that kind of thing. So, or Zelda, I do a save point, come back to the game, I'm outside the temple, and I don't remember where the hell I was. You know, stuff like that. Podner, I think you have a little bit of a segment you'd like to roll into. It's a new month, and you know what that means.
That's right. It's actually Women's History Month in all of March. And going over people. Now, this may be someone who people know of a little bit more than other, but if you're not into, let's say, the history of computing, you may not be familiar with Grace Hopper. She, very early on, one of these people who, I'm going to tear something apart and see how it works. And she started that. She graduated, got her PhD in mathematics at Yale. She was a professor at Vassar. In 1943, she resigned to join the Navy Waves. That's Women's Accepted for Volunteer Emergency Service. So she was in the Navy. She worked as a computation project. She worked on the Mark I, which is an earlier prototype. She wrote a 500-page manual of operations for the automatic sequence controller calculator. She outlined the fundamental operating procedure. While working on the Mark I, she coined the term bug for something being wrong in a computer.
Nice.
Yeah, After the war, she worked on UNIVAC, the first all-electronic. She invented the first computer compiler. So for those who are not familiar with computer compilers, before that, you had to write it in machine code. With a compiler, you could write it in normal language, or you could just write it in English, and the compiler would convert it over to machine language. And after she developed that, she co-developed COBOL, which is one of the first languages that you could actually write in words to do stuff there. She lectured, gave up to 300 lectures per year. And in 1966, she attained the rank of commander. In 67, remember, she did serve in World War II. In 1967, she was called back to active duty for the Navy. She made Rear Admiral in 1985. So this is someone who, when women were expected not to be in the workforce unless it was an emergency like World War II, she was there before she stayed there. She was heavily involved in a high-tech field, cutting edge on computers, literally designed the first compiler, came up with the term bug. She was on the forefront and doing everything, early on. And the thing that kind of gets me, she's a little bit older than my grandmother was, but my grandmother, Zay, she was, during the war, she started to go to school in her early 20s to be a teacher. After the war was over, she was basically told, oh, you're married. We don't want married women to be teachers because you should not be out of the home. And they basically said, okay, you're in the program to become a teacher. We're shutting this off. To know that was the environment of the time. And here's someone who was, like I said, on the literal bleeding edge of technology.
Jeez. Well, thank you for that. And we'll have a few more through the month, right?
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Dave Bronner, iPhoneography Podcast.
Yep, and Prof Prod on all the socials, so you can see what I'm doing, running related, and doing my own low tech, if you will, video editing. So not using AI, not using AI for the ones that came out recently, but going on the creative side.
And also, shout out, you mentioned the costuming for this weekend for that, the big thaw.
The spring thaw, yep. Yeah, because it was the 50th anniversary, so I decided to do it like I was in the late 70s.
There you go. We got the mustache.
Yes,
nice head. Nice head of hair there, Dave.
Oh,
look
I
at
miss
that.
it.
Nice head of hair.
I already miss it. I still keep it close to me.
Oh, it's like a tribble. KatieDudas.com for all the links for Katie things.
Stuff and things.
Yes.
Oh, hey, and guess what's starting Thursday?
Yeah, the travel season starts.
Yay!
What trouble are we going to get into in Florida?
Oh, I know.
Hope you got it.
I know the first one.
We're going to the Animal Crossing thing. Is that what we're doing Thursday?
Yes.
We do have some time to kill.
Yay!
We're gonna meet Tom Nook, and I have some financial questions for him.
Ooh, I like the fact that I can go have and you hear Princess Donut now.
Oh no!
Welcome to Dungeon Crawler Carl. Friend.
Yes. I have gone into the dungeon. You know, maybe I'll talk about Dungeon Crawler Carl on the Patreon. We won't get into that right now. I'm on book 2 already. So I'm finding time. I had 6 hours each way trip by myself to Trenton, New Jersey last week, so I got a lot in. Guys, thank you so much. At Sorgatron, you can see everything going on. And, hey, we're running a wrestling show. April 1st, Wrestling Mayhem Show presents April Fools. A lot of information is coming out that. The second match is getting announced this evening on the Wrestling Mayhem Show. We can just watch social medias. And even, it's going to be also the first wrestling show presented by Sorgatron Media officially. So, because it's through the podcast. So, therefore, it's a Sorgatron Media production. So, there you go. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Good to have Katie back in the studio. We got to get Dave in the studio here in the future as well. We'll see you guys next time. You have been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at Sorgatron.